Hi everyone, Timon Veller here from foxreviews.info and welcome to the first edition of the review for 2019. Happy New Year. I hope you're all well and you had a great holiday period. Okay, well in a few moments what I'll be doing is highlighting a number of important trading areas, high probability areas in the market, as well as highlighting potential management point areas and target areas. Okay, the first pair I'd like to highlight is USD, and I'm on the daily chart. USD recently tested the 115.50 zone area, which is a potential bearish resistance area on this market, and I'm expecting more potential continuation of the downside, at least a little bit lower into this previous high and low area, where price may support. How potentially this market may continue all the way down long term to the 113.11 zone area, which is what I'd like to highlight as a potential long-term tail area to the downside for all those people who are holding a sell trade on this market from the recent test of the 115.50 zone area. And also want to highlight the 113.11 zone area as once again a great area on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area, of course depending on the evidence and how it forms in this important zone, and potentially look for a move all the way up to this previous high and low, or potentially look for a move all the way up, all the way back up to the 115.50 zone area to the upside. Now, if price does happen to pull back, so if price supports at this high area and pulls back and retests the 115.50 zone area again this week or in the near future, what I'd like to highlight is that this is once again a great area on this market to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area. Of course, once again, depending on the evidence and how it forms in this important zone. And look for a potential move to the downside, potentially a move all the way down to this previous high and low, or potentially look for a move all the way down long term to the 113.11 zone area to the downside. So overall on USD, behind the 113.11 zone area as a potential long-term tail area to the downside for all those people holding a sell trade in this market, as well as a potential bullish evidence area. And also behind the 115.50 zone area as an area that if price pulls back and retests this area again this week, that this is once again an area on this market, a great area in this market to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area. Of course, depending on the evidence and how it forms in this important zone. Okay, let's go to the next market. The next pillar to highlight is GBUSD, and I'm on the daily chart. Recently, GBUSD tested the 126.97 zone area, which is a potential bullish evidence area, and price broke below that area multiple times. So it looked like price was going to continue to the downside and move to a further zone to the downside. However, in the end, the bulls did take control in this area and push price above this important zone. And as you can see, this recent price action is quite strong. What I'm expecting is that price will continue to the upside. So overall, price did hold the 126.97 zone area, or you could call it the 127 zone area, as it's right next to that round number. I'm expecting that price will continue to the upside, potentially all the way up to this previous high. So it's just a little bit higher to the upside, or this low area that price may continue to, or potentially price may continue all the way up, all the way back up to the 130.40 zone area, which is an area that I'd like to highlight as a potential long-term tail area to the upside for all those people holding buy trade on this market from the recent test of the 127 zone area. And also want to highlight the 130.40 zone area as a great area on this market to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area. Of course, depending on the evidence and how it forms in this important zone. So depending on that price action, and to then look for a potential move to the downside, potentially move all the way down to this previous high and low, looking left as a potential management point area to the downside, or potentially look for a move all the way down, all the way back down to the 126.97 zone area, or the 127 zone area, just to keep it even. Now, of course, if price does pull back this week, so if it does resist at this high and low area, and then does pull back and retest the 126.97 zone area, or you could say the 127 zone area. Let me just say the 127 zone area from now on, that this is an area on this market where a great area on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area and look for a potential move to the upside, potentially move all the way up to this previous high and this low as a potential management point area to the upside, or potentially look for a move all the way up, all the way back up to the 130.40 zone area to the upside. Okay, well that's it for that mark. The next pillar to cover is US dollar Swiss, and I'm on the daily chart. US dollar Swiss has recently been testing deeply in the 98.30 zone area. In fact, it tested so deeply that it looked like the bears were going to push price all the way down to test a deeper zone, which is the 96.67 zone area. However, in the end, the bulls did hold this zone with this strong bit of price action here, this strong bullish engulfing. And now I've got a bit of sideways price action here in this doji type candle. What I'd like to highlight is that on a pullback into this area this week, that this is a great area on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area. And look for a potential move the upside. Potentially move all the way up to this high area, looking left. Or potentially look for a move all the way up to the $1.41 zone area to the upside. So overall on US dollar Swiss, holding the 98.30 zone area as a great area on this market on a pullback to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area and look for a potential move the upside from this important zone. Okay, let's go on to the next market. The next pillar to highlight is AUD, and I'm on the daily chart. The first thing I'd like to mention about AUD is recently this market experienced a flash crash. And you can be seen in this price action back here. This is when there's not enough liquidity to hold price up at a particular price point. It's very unusual, and it usually happens when markets are very light. And in the case of AUD, price whipsawed down very quickly to this price point down here, and then price whipsawed all the way back up in a very short period of time, and then price moved to the upside after that recent flash crash. And the reason it's called a flash crash is because price tends to whip down to a particular price point, or it can whip up as well, and then it comes back to that price point very, very quickly. And in the case of AUD, price came back to this price point very quickly, and then price continued to the upside. And because price has moved very strongly to the upside recently, I am expecting price will continue, potentially all the way up to the 73.35 zone area. So for all those people holding a buy trade on this market, what I'd like to highlight is the 73.35 zone area is a potential long-term trade area to the upside on this market. And also want to highlight the 73.35 zone area as a potential bearish reference area on this market, and a great area on this market to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area, of course, depending on the evidence and how it forms in this important zone. And look for a potential move to the downside, potentially move all the way down to this previous low area, looking left, or potentially look for a move all the way down to the 70.47 zone area to the downside. The next pillar to cover is New Zealand USD, and I'm on the daily chart. On this market today, what I'd like to highlight is where price is testing right now, which is the 68.27 zone area. This is an area on this market, a great area on this market to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area. Of course, depending on the evidence and how it forms in this important zone, it's an if-then process. If you're wondering how to evaluate evidence, this is an aspect that I go over in detail in the Forex training on the website for all those people that haven't checked out the Forex training yet. And so basically just implying that this is a great area on this market to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area if the right sort of price action pattern forms in this area, and look for a potential move to the downside, potentially move all the way down to the 66.94 zone area to the downside. And also want to highlight the 66.94 zone area as another zone on this market, and in the case of the 66.94 zone area, an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence and a potential move the upside from this important zone. The next pair I'd like to cover is GP Swiss, and I'm on the daily chart. Similar to GPUSD, GP Swiss recently tested a bullish evidence area. However, this is a much clearer test of this important zone. As you can see, price action was very neatly inside this important area before the bulls took control at the end of last week. And I'm expecting more continuation to the upside. So for all those people that are holding a buy trade on this market, what I'd like to highlight is that potentially this market may continue all the way up to at least this low and this low, area, looking left, or potentially may continue all the way up to the 128.68 zone area to the upside. So overall on GP Swiss, holding a potential management point area to the upside and a long-term tail area to the upside for all those people holding a buy trade on this market from the recent test of the 125 zone area, and that is the 128.68 zone area. Now I also would like to mention that the 128.68 zone area is also an area on this market that I'd like to mention in this week's review, and in the case of this area this week, what I'd like to highlight is that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bearish evidence in this area. And if I see right bearish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way down to this previous low area, looking left as a potential management point area to the downside, or potentially look for a move all the way down, all the way back down to the 125 zone area to the downside. Now, if price happens to pull back and retest the 125 zone area again this week, so if price pulls back a little bit into this area, what I'd like to highlight is that this is a great area on this market to consider a potential bullish opportunity in this area and look for a potential with the upside. Potentially move all the way up to this previous low area, or potentially look for a move all the way up long term to the 128.68 zone area to the upside. Okay, well that's it for that market. The next market I'd like to highlight is gold, and I'm on the daily chart. At the moment, gold is in an uptrend and it's been a great performer for all these people who've been holding a buy trade on this market long term in the trend. And what I'd like to hold on this market today in this week's review is a potential pullback area, and that is the 1265 zone area. This is an area that if price pulls back and tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area and a potential with the upside. Potentially move all the way up to the 1291 zone area, or potentially even higher on this market in the trend. So overall in gold, on the 1265 zone area as a potential pullback area on this market in the trend, an area where I'm just looking for bullish evidence and a potential with the upside from this important zone. And I also would like to note that where price is testing, where price has been testing recently, which is the 1291 zone area, that this is a valid area on this market to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area and look for a potential with the downside, potentially move all the way down to the 1265 zone area to the downside. Okay, well that's it for that market. The next market I'd like to highlight is silver, and I'm on the daily chart. Now, very similar to gold, what I'd like to highlight in this market today is two important areas. The first area I'd like to highlight is where price is testing right now, bearing in mind that it is a counter trend zone area on this market, people, and that is the 1561 zone area. This is a valid area on this market to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area and look for a potential move to the downside. Potentially look for a move all the way down long term to the 1480 zone area to the downside. Now the 1480 zone area is another area on this market and the more preferred area in this market, as this market is in an uptrend at the moment. And in the case of the 1480 zone area, this is an area to the downside that if price tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where I'm just looking for bullish evidence in this area. And if I see right bullish evidence in this area, then potentially looking for a move all the way up, all the way back up to the 1561 zone area to the upside. So overall in silver, on the 1561 zone area as a valid area to consider a potential bearish opportunity in this area, and also on the 1480 zone area as another area on this market, and in the case of the 1480 zone area, an area on this market, a great area in this market to look for a potential bullish opportunity in this area and a potential with the upside from that important zone as well. Okay, well that's it for silver. The next pair to highlight is Euro New Zealand, and I'm on the daily chart. On Euro New Zealand, what I'd like to highlight is a potential long-term target area to the downside and also a potential bullish evidence area, and that is the 165.71 zone area. This is a potential long-term target area to the downside for all those people holding a sell trade on this market from the recent test of the 171.27 zone area And it's also an area to the downside that if price tests this area this week or in the near future, that this is an area on this market where we must look for bullish evidence in this area. And if you see a right bullish evidence in this area, then looking for a potential move to the upside, potentially move all the way up to this previous high, looking left back here, and this low as potential management point areas, or potentially looking for a move all the way up long term to the 171.27 zone area to the upside. So overall on Euro New Zealand, on the 165.71 zone area as a potential target area to the downside for all those people holding a sell trade on this market from the recent test of the 171.27 zone area, and also on the 165.71 zone area as an area on this market where we must look for bullish evidence and a potential move the upside from this important zone. Okay, well that's it for me for this week's edition of the review. Thanks for watching. And once again, what I'd like to say is Happy New Year. I hope you all have a great 2019, health, prosperity, and I just wish you the best overall. If you appreciate this video today, please click the like button to show your support. If you have a comment below this video. Every like and comment is appreciated. If you haven't subscribed yet and you want to get video updates from me, consider subscribing. Also, if you haven't checked out the Forex training on the website, such as the Engulfing Trader, the 5-day training series, the Counseling training series, or the Zone Trader training series, where you can find out all about this Forex training by clicking on the links below this video. Okay, well, I hope you all have a great trading week and happy trading.